Good morning, everybody. I'm Teppy Schwartzel, and I am an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up. And if you decide that you want to order something from me, the current host code is right here. Use that, and what will happen is you'll get special rewards when you order something. If your order is going to be over $150, then let me know ahead of time, and you will get other benefits. Okay. Now, just so you know, finally, the 2019 holiday catalog has gone live. It went live yesterday, and now I can show you not only the cover, I can show you what is inside. But what we're going to do today is I'm going to make a card from the Brightly Gleaming suite. Okay, and I'll explain that. In the Brightly Gleaming suite, you'll get, it includes cardstock, our designer series paper, and a stamp set, 2 ornament punches, an embossing folder, and you'll also get these elements, which I'm going to use in the card today, and some other star designer elements, and some beautiful ribbon. Now, if you don't want to buy the entire suite is $97. If you don't want to buy the entire suite and you just want to buy the bundle, which would be the stamp set and the ornament pack, the ornament punch pack, and that would be $49.50. You get 10% off when you order it as a bundle. So I'll show you the card that we're going to make today. Here it is. It's a Z fold card, and it has the sentiment, joy to the world. Let me move this out of the way. And it opens up, and it will stand. Oops. There you go. So it's a beautiful card. If somebody gets this card from you, they're going to want to show it off. And there's also a sentiment on the inside. But before we get going, I'd like to just show you some of the designer series paper. You'll get 12 pieces of paper. They're double-sided. These are all the paper choices. Okay, and the cardstock that goes with these beautiful paper choices is Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, Pretty Peacock, and Very Vanilla. But these color choices in the designer series paper, I just think are stunning. The paper that we're going to be using today, along with Night of Navy, is this cardstock. Okay, and that's the other side of it. So it's a beautiful set. I think you would love making cards with this. Now today we are going to need a looking for my measurements here. You're going to have a Whisper White, and the Whisper White, this is the basically the base of the card. The Whisper White is going to be, you're going to need 2 pieces. One is going to be 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5.5. The inside piece is going to be 4 inches by 5 1/4, and that's what we'll be putting our sentiment on. Okay. Then you will also need Night of Navy, and that the Night of Navy is going to be 4 inches across, 10 1/4 long, and it's going to be scored at 2.5 and 5 inches. Okay, you will also need a scrap of Night of Navy, and then you're going to need 2 pieces of designer series paper. And the designer series paper is going to be, it's called the Brightly Gleaming Specialty Designer Series paper. And you're going to need 1 piece that is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. and okay, 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. Okay, the other thing we're going to do is we're going to take our Night of Navy ink pad, and we're going to just touch up the sides. I've already done it on this piece. As you can see, there's some white that shows up, and you really don't want to see that. So we'll get to that later. Okay, you're also going to need a scrap of the copper foil sheet. Okay, now here are the stamp sets that I'm using. I'm using the stamp set from the Brightly Gleaming Sweet Bundle, and we're going to be using these 2 stamps, and then I'm going to be using the Sentiments Merry Christmas and Joy to the World. Okay. Now, we're also going to be using the Versamark because we're going to be doing some embossing. We're going to be using 2 of the dies from the Layering Circle Framelit dies. And the ones that we're going to be using, I don't know if you're familiar with these dies, but this is a great value. Get all of these dies. Okay? And the 2 dies that we're going to be using, hold on, oh, there they are. Okay, one, the scalloped edge, and what you have to do in order to find out the dimensions, one side is flat, the other side has the cutting edge, and what you're going to do is measure from the actual cutting edge to get the actual dimension of the piece that you're going to be using. Okay, you're also going to need a big shot because you're going to have to be cutting out these 2 pieces. This is going to be with the scalloped edge and then the circle punch, the just flat circle punch. All right, the scalloped edge die is 3 1/16 across, and the smooth die, the smooth circle die, is going to be 2 11/16 across. Okay. Now we're also going to be using the elements, some of the elements from the Brightly Gleaming Sweet. You're going to need your embossing buddy. We're going to need some Whisper White Baker's Twine. And as I said, the Night of Navy ink. And why don't we just get going? I'm not going to I've already rubber stamped the ornaments. I did, we just need one of these and one of these. And where's the other one? Oh, there it is. Okay, you're also in this Brightly Gleaming Sweet Bundle. This is one of the punches that you will get. And what I did, I already went ahead and embossed this because I didn't want you to have to sit through that. I'm sure you know how to do that by now. But right now, we're going to just go in and we're going to go ahead and punch this ornament out. Just get it lined up in there. Easy peasy. That's all done. Okay, so we don't need that anymore. And don't worry, I will have everything listed below the video, and it will go directly to my website, so you will not have any problem ordering any of these supplies. Okay, now why don't we get going, and we're going to get our bone folder. Okay, now this card is going to fold. Where did I put the card? There it is. Okay. First, with the white piece of cardstock, you're just going to fold that in half and use your bone folder. Get the edges lined up and get yourself a nice crisp fold. Nothing looks nicer than having a nice crisp fold on your cards. Okay. Now, the Night of Navy cardstock, you're going to fold the 5-inch section up. All right, now there's, just so you realize, there's going to be a little bit of a gap here. That's planned, so don't worry about that. And then this smaller section you're going to fold forward and use your bone folder to crease that, because the way this is going to sit, it's going to sit just like that, okay, on your card base, okay, and it will sit up. Okay, great. Now let's go ahead and ink up the inside. Now I'm using the Stamparatus, which I love. As many years as I've been stamping, I'm still not the best stamper. Don't know why, but it's just what it is. Also note that these rubber stamps are red, and they're a little bit thicker than the photopolymer. So when you're doing your stamping with your red rubber stamps, don't use the black pad because it's way too thick. Now I've already put my my piece of cardstock that's going to go on the inside of the card, and I've already lined up my stamps. One of the things I do also, because I can't always seem to get the stickers on the if you notice, there's the design that what the rubber stamp is. I can't seem to sometimes get the lettering on straight, so I always keep a piece of copy paper at hand, and I just double check to make sure that when I'm stamping, it's pretty straight. Okay, so what we're going to do is just go ahead and get our Night of Navy. Okay. And also make sure that you do not hit your magnets together, because they will break. As you can see, I have 3 now instead of 2. Okay, and the other thing about the Stamparatus is if it's not completely inked the first time, you can put more ink on your stamp and it will go right back to the same place, and no need to worry about it not hitting the same place. So I've missed a little bit over here on the scroll, so let's just ink that up again and then press just a little harder, and I leave it down a couple of seconds just so the ink kind of soaks into the paper. Perfect, voila. Okay, so we'll take that out and we can go ahead and glue that to the inside of our folded vanilla. If I could find, there it is. It's really hard to find some of this stuff sometimes. So what we're going to do is just glue this with our multi-purpose liquid glue, which I love. It gives you some, it dries pretty quick, but it gives you some wiggle room so that if you're not perfectly straight, you can move it. Okay. And like I always, this is the way I do it. I put the card horizontal to me. That way I can, it seems that if I can get the 3 sides, everything is lined up perfectly. Okay, so it needs to go a little bit to the right. It's not bad. Okay. Okay, so we're done with that for right now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the designer series paper and glue that down. First we need to take the Night of Navy ink, and I've already inked the edges. It's a little bit of white. Like I said, you just don't want that white showing. This is not a solid core blue because you got 2 different sides to the paper. So all I'm doing is taking my ink pad and inking up the edge so that that white doesn't show from the sides. There you go. Okay, now we're gonna glue these all to the Night of Navy. There will also be a link in on the YouTube video to the blog. If you want to go check out my blog and sign up for the newsletter. Newsletter will probably come out about once a month right now. I am new to Stampin' Up! And don't have a lot of news to tell you, but I will have Stampin' Up! News on occasion. And we're going to glue this piece of Designer Series paper to this front panel. Okay. There you go. Perfect. Okay, now, one of the things we are going to emboss is we're going to take a 1.5 inch punch and punch out a circle punch, because that's what our joy to the world. Now this I die cut. I decided I'd rather use the punch. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and cut out a 1.5 inch circle. Let's put that on there. Okay, we're done with that now. And what we're going to do is we're going to get our embossing buddy, and I like to tap it because it seems like I'm here in Arizona, so everything is really dry and very staticky. Now, where did that come from? Okay. So I have to use more embossing buddy than I think anybody else does. Now, my joy to the world, here it is. Okay. And I'm using one of our blocks, and I'm going to use the Versamark ink. This is a circle, so I know it's going to be straight no matter what I do. It's how you put it on the card. Okay, so the Versamark ink is clear. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, I keep, this is shimmery white Stampin' Emboss powder. This is a real pretty glimmery powder. If you look at the, that was good. Okay, this is the same powder that I used on this ornament. So that's what I'm going to put on the gold foil. All right. And for some reason my spoon has disappeared, so we're just going to kind of dip this in here. And that didn't stick. That's not good. There we go. Okay. Close that up so it doesn't blow all over the place. And I am going to heat emboss this. And through the magic of camera, I will be right back with this. That might make your paper curl a little bit, but when we glue it down, it should straighten itself out. There you go. Okay, so now back to our card. One of the things, as I said, we've already cut this out. This was using the circle, where is it? Layering circle dies, And this is the scalloped edge, which is 3 1/16 across. And then we have the Night of Navy that's going to be 2 11/16 across. So we're going to glue that onto there, onto the gold foil. Just center that, give it a couple seconds to adhere. Now I'm going to put the wow, don't know what that was. Apparently there's a covering on the back of the gold foil paper because it came off. Now you're going to want to do a better job than I did. I pressed down too hard with the bone folder to hold it while it was drying, or while I was heating up the embossing powder. Now we're going to put on some Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm going to try and keep these kind of down toward the bottom, because what's going to happen is this circle is going to come underneath here. We're going to put this in the lower left hand corner. Now, where did they go? Where are you? Where are my ornaments? Oh, wouldn't you know it? Oh, there they are. They're right in front of me. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is one of the ornaments I'm going to glue directly to the Night of Navy. The other one I'm going to have kind of on dimensionals above it. And the one I'm using, the reason I'm using this one to put the dimensionals on is because I have a lot more coverage from the embossing powder, and then so that way the dimensionals won't show through. Because sometimes vellum is kind of a tricky paper to work with. Now, when I glue this ornament down, I'm also going to glue it a little bit toward the top. And what I'm trying to do is just put the glue where the leaves are, or where these vines or scroll work is, because I really would like it to not show through. It's not going to show through a lot, but it's just not worth taking the chance that you're going to see glue gunk underneath. And it really doesn't take a lot to be able to secure this down. Okay, like I said, I'm going to set it, offset it, and put it up a little higher. There you go. And then the other one I'm going to put dimensionals on. So it sits above and gives a little bit of depth to the front of the card. There you go. Just take the paper backing off. And like I said, I'm going to offset this one down a little bit, but overlapping the other ornament. There you go. Perfect. Get that off. Now, what I've used are these, what are they called? Brightly gleaming foil elements. And the elements I used were the leaves and one of the stars. I used 3 of the leaves. There's 1, 2, because there's a third one underneath here. When I opened the card up, it was a little bland here, so I decided to put a third one there. Okay. And those just punch right out. They're already die cut for you. So we're going to put our, oh, I didn't get this, let me get the star out. Didn't take one of those out. I'll show you how easy these are to just take out. There you go. And you just use your glue, your liquid glue, or whatever glue you want to use. Again, you don't need a whole lot. This is going to stick down quite easily. And I'm put the star in the center. Okay. And then with these leaf elements or branch elements, again, just I stay on the bigger pieces. You don't need to put glue on the entire thing. Put these off in the corner. And then I kind of eyeballed where I wanted the third one to go, because I want it to be underneath. The circle here. So we're just gonna decide where we want it. Put some glue on. Just kind of center that underneath there. There you go. Okay. And then on the back of this, you only want to do like the bottom half, because you don't want to glue down this part of your card. Again, don't need a lot of glue. Just center this on your card, and I slide it up underneath the sentiment. Get it straight. Press it down so it attaches. Okay, now through the magic of camera, I do have one of these bows made up, and it had, oh, there it is. Okay. Just decided to put these bows up at the top. Now, to make one of these, just take it, loop it. Sorry for my thumb, that was a dog fight. Then come around the back, and then just go up and make your bow. Makes a great bow every time. And sometimes you just kind of have to fool around with it. Takes a bit to get going on these, but once you got it, they're really fun. And you can make the loops as big as you want or small, just by pulling on the edges. Let's make it smaller. Trim off the edges here. You don't need this long of a tail. There you go. And then I use my glue dots. What you kind of do is you kind of roll them up in a little ball, and that way they don't show. It also secures the bow, and you just put that up there on the ornament. There you go. Another glue dot for the other one. Okay. Then you take the base of your card. Make sure your sentiment it's going to be like this. Just glue this. And attach your card front. And there you have it. Your Z card. Made with the brightly gleaming sweet set Again, I'll have dimensions and everything on my blog and below the video on YouTube. And if you would, if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to become your demonstrator. Again, if you're going to place an order with me, please use this host code if your order is going to be under $150. If it's going to be over $150, then contact me and I'll tell you what you need to do. Now, again, this is the new catalog. This just released yesterday. It is the 2019 Holiday Stampin' Up! Catalog. And again, please use this host code. Check me out at ariddesertdesigns.com. And if you have any questions, just contact me through my website. I would be more than happy to be your demonstrator or answer any questions that you might have. I really appreciate your time and love having you here. I know everybody's busy, and I would love to help you design some absolutely gorgeous cards. And remember, it's not just Christmas things that are in here. In the next couple of days, I'm going to do a card with the coffin out of the Monster Bash suite. There are little coffins that are here, and those are food safe. They're going to make terrific gifts, terrific place setting if you have company over. So again, thank you so much, and I look forward to working with you. Have a great day. Bye.